"Oh, hey, look, we're getting sick of being, your boy, to do your errands for you and and pay all the bills and that's so he's really been calling NATO out on the carpet. That's one of the things I like about Trump.
Yeah, he's been telling them to carry their fair share. Well, that's not the same as saying let's disband NATO.
Yeah, let's look long term too. Let's look at the really big picture. Let's look at the long term picture here. In the end, I don't think Putin, who is, let's say, he's authoritarian, no longer communist, but certainly authoritarian, and corporate oligarchy, whatever he's got. He's one of the wealthiest men in the world because he controls the country.
Corporate and politics.
Right. Long term, he doesn't want to see the United States become an Islamo-fascist, Democrat, socialist, whatever either, because you know what? That's no good for him. He'll be standing alone as the last Christian country on earth. So long term, I don't think Putin wants to see the United States go the way of Venezuela or
and I think
Cuba
Trump is threatening that oil line to Russia because basically to Europe on the Trans-Syrian pipeline because Trump is telling Europe, hey, buy our natural gas. It's cheaper than what Russia's selling you. That's not a guy that Putin wants to see in power.
Right, exactly. It's pretty common. You know who will get in? We're going to get L. Todd Wood back in a couple of weeks. I told him I would read one of his novels, get it read, and then have him in on the show. But we can get him for the whole show because he's up to date on a lot of that stuff in the Middle East and Russia too. So, great, Tom. I appreciate the call.
Thanks for taking my call. There's one little thing. I think NATO was set up basically because of Stalin, and I don't think Putin's anywhere as bad as Stalin.
Yeah,
I think definitely.
The world has changed.
It's outlived its original intent. Yeah.
Yep. All right, great call, Tom. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Well, one thing that always bothers me, and I've thought this in the back of my head for years, if there's an issue with Russia. And when it was communist, it's different. When it was Soviet Union, it was different. But now they're not communists anymore, right? Why hasn't NATO just said, you know what, let's just stop the nonsense. We're not going to attack you. We have no desire to attack Russia. I think everybody knows that, including Putin, right? Why don't you just ask Russia to join NATO? Then there can't be any attack on either side.
That came up a while back. Yeah, exactly.
What's the holdup?
There's still tension.
Yeah, Russia has more to fear from the Middle East than they do from Europe. You know what I mean? That's where the real threat lies. It's Iran. It's Turkey. It's Syria. It's all those crazy
Turkey,
Muslims and extremists down there.
Buying our F-35s. Turkey, a member of NATO, buying our F-35s and buying the very missile defense system to shoot them down from the Russians. But Erdogan's losing after that mayoral election in Istanbul.
Yeah,
his boy in the largest populated city in Istanbul, in Turkey, Istanbul, the capital. I think it's the capital. Regardless, his guy lost the election.
Yeah.
So Erdogan's power is ebbing, which is good for us.
And that part of the world seems like it's always in flux, other than, even Israel's in flux sometimes. We've been all over the map today, haven't we?
Yes, sir.
Doggone it. Well, I want to get back. I got two other tracks, and let's kind of bring it back to the immigration thing, which is kind of where we started. And I want to hear you, Homan. We've got Homan on here, Tom Homan, testifying to Congress. And here's a Democrat, Representative Garcia, Jesus Garcia, I think, Chewy, whatever his name, not like Chewy Chewbacca, but Chewy. Representative Garcia talking to Representative Homan. Go ahead and play track 3 if you got it, Derek. Okay, go.
Mr. Homan, do you understand that the consequences of separation of many children will be lifelong trauma and carried across generations? Have we not learned from the internment of Japanese Americans? Mr. Homan, I'm a father. Do you have children? How can you possibly allow this to happen under your watch? Do you not care? Is it because these children don't look like children that are around you? I don't get it. Have you ever held a deceased child in your arms?
First of all, your comments are disgusting. I've served my country.
I've
served my country for 34 years.
I find your comments disgusting as well.
I've served my country for 34 years. And yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms in back of that tractor trailer. I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him. because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life were like. And I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed. And you're the member of Congress.
We agree on that.
Fix it.
Fix it. It's the Democrats who haven't fixed it.
They refuse to. They thrive on it being a boiling pot.
They had 2 years with Obama. They had the Senate. They had the Congress. And you know what? Unlike the situation now, Republicans are so weak, they would have worked with the Democrats to fix whatever they wanted to fix. They would have had a comprehensive immigration reform done. But Obama didn't do it. Nancy didn't do it. And Harry Reid, I think, was the first 2 years,
Reid.
right?
Yes, yeah.
The Democrats refused to take care of it. Why? Because they like having that issue for the election. That's what it is. And I want to tell all Hispanics out there, the Democrats are not your friends.
Nope.
The Democrats don't care about you. They'll use you until they don't need you anymore.
Like they use the blacks.
Yes. And you know what? The next wave of immigrants will replace the Hispanics that are coming here because they don't care about Hispanics. And I'll be honest, most Hispanics are Catholic. And you know what? Democrats hate Catholics. They hate anybody who has an allegiance to something other than their own crazy, distorted worldview.
And Homeland here. Homeland wasn't just head of I forget which. The people that have the detention facilities. I can't forget what department he was in. But he was under Obama also.
Yeah.
This stuff all happened under Obama.
Yeah. Those cages?
Yeah.
Remember the cages?
They were built under Obama.
Those cages were built under Obama. There's a picture right out there.
Yeah.
It's Jay Johnson, the DHS secretary, walking past the
Obama's.
cages. Yes.
Obama's man saying that there's a crisis.
Yeah.
There is a crisis. It's not manufactured. Well, it is a manufactured crisis. The Democrats have manufactured this crisis. It's a real crisis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So I got one more track we want to get in, and it's just because I like Homan.
Listen fast, folks.
And I hate AOC. Derek, can we listen to track 5? This is AOC asking Homan about it, and he gets a spanking on her.
And so the recommendation of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommend a zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Homan,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is...
Okay. End of the show. All right, folks, until next week, go to thedailydrift.com and currentonline.com and keep the news
you need to know.
perfect. See you next week. Bye.